I work hard to earn my pay, and I saved real big today at All-American Ford.
Hey everyone, I'm Jason Svino, the marketing director for the All-American Auto Group, and this is the All-American Auto Mall and Old Bridge Updates podcast. Last episode, so this is episode 33. Last episode, I talked about our deal with Pete Alonso, talked about the upcoming Bronco Roadshow event. So check that episode out for some of those updates. This episode, I have a very special guest. I have Mike Greengarten with us. He's the Assistant Director of Development, Communications, and Engagement from Rutgers University and Rutgers Athletics. So thanks for joining, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Jason.
I appreciate it. So tell us a little bit about your position at Rutgers.
Well, first off, thank you to you and the All-American Auto Group for having me on. I appreciate our partnership here at Rutgers. At Rutgers, what I do, I work in our development office, which is the R Fund team. So within athletics, you have a fundraising arm, and we are that fundraising arm. So whether you want to donate $1 or $100,000 or $100, it doesn't matter. We are here to help support our student athletes, our Scarlet Knight student athletes, by being the athletics fundraising arm. So that's what I do.
So tell us a little bit about more about the R Fund and kind of what it goes to and how it supports the athletes.
Sure. So the R Fund, again, is the fundraising arm of Rutgers Athletics. We fundraise donations or gifts anywhere from, again, $1 to $15 million. It doesn't matter. But we raise money for facilities. So we just had the brand new RWJ Barnabas Health Athletic Performance Center go up for men's basketball, women's basketball, gymnastics, and wrestling programs, as well as it's a nutrition area for all of our student athletes and a study area and a tutoring area. And then we also just raised funds for the newly opened Gary and Barbara Rockin Academic Success Center, which houses our lacrosse programs and soccer programs and also houses our academic services team, our leadership academy, LDSP, and it also moved a lot of the athletic department staff into one roof, which has really never happened before. So we raise money for those facilities, and we help get that going. We also raise money for scholarships, and then anything in between. So tutoring, nutrition, travel, anything like that. We help raise money for to support our student athletes.
Wow, that's great. There's a lot of stuff you got going on there, a lot of new stuff at Rutgers. That's great. I know previously with my conversations with Rutgers universities, you guys have brought up the annual Day of Giving that had recently passed. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So every single year we have an annual Day of Giving. So it's called Giving Day. This happens across the country, but at Rutgers, our day this year was March 24th. And we actually set a record for the most donations, the most dollars given in a single year. We raised over $600,000.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was a total win for our student athletes, for Rutgers, and that's only to athletics. So the university raised more money, but and then again, every year we have usually between 900 and 1,500 donors that give on the single day of giving. So again, it ranges from $1 to $100 to $1,000 and anywhere in between and anywhere above. But we really, truly appreciate our fund donors and our student athletes, our fans, our staff for taking part in Giving Day.
That's incredible. Why do you think, in your opinion, you were able to break the record, especially, given the environment right now, how crazy it is? Do you think that actually helped with it being a pandemic and people trying to help more? Or why do you think this year you broke a record?
I think our fans and our donors and our fund donors still want to support our student athletes. Our student athletes are back on campus and they're competing in their respective sports. So men's basketball, women's basketball, wrestling, lacrosse, rowing, field hockey, everyone's back on campus. Yeah. And everyone's competing for the Block R. And our fans know that, and they see the successes we're having both on the field, in the classroom, in the community, and they just want to support any way they can. And Giving Day gives our fans the platform and that day to be like, okay, we want to support. How are we going to support? When are we going to support? Oh, it's Giving Day. Let's give on Giving Day and help our student athletes because they are giving their all for Rutgers. We need to give all right back for them.
Very cool. Very cool. So Let's dive into some of the successes because I follow the Twitter now like crazy, the account for Rutgers Athletics, and it seems
Sure.
like there's a big win every other day, and crazy things are happening there. So I know you were in Indianapolis for March Madness. Talk about kind of that experience and the success of the basketball squads.
First of all, I wish all of our fans could have been in Indianapolis for March Madness to see our men's basketball program compete, in the NCAA tournament. And I wish everyone could have went to the women's program and went to San Antonio and went to Texas to see our women compete. And I wish our fans could have went out to St. Louis to see our wrestling program compete, because the successes there were incredible too. For the first time ever, we had 3 All-Americans in one single NCAA championship for wrestling.
Wow. Nice.
Our women's basketball program was the 6th seed in the NCAA tournament. Coach Stringer continues, the Hall of Famer that she is, continues to make that program what it is. And it's been just a model of consistency every single year. And then our men's program, honestly, Coach Peichel, I'd run through a wall for him, and he knows that. And the way he has built this program has been with integrity and with class, and he's done it the right way. And that all culminated right in Indianapolis. Our fans couldn't even be there. So I truly wish our fans could have been there to see this through. But to the fans that were there and just honestly, the experience of being out there was just incredible, because if you think about it, this is the first time, at least that I believe in history, that every single team has been in one singular location for an NCAA tournament in Indianapolis. So we had 68 teams in one location playing at 8 venues. So the fans that were out there, just the sheer excitement that you felt just being there, even though it was still COVID and even though protocols were still closely kept and tight, and people obviously had to wear a mask everywhere you went. It was still an incredible experience. The first game being Clemson, I'm pretty sure I cried. just being there and seeing that big block R on the scoreboard, the win afterward, and seeing how much it meant to the fans that were there and the fans that were at home on social media. It was truly an incredible experience, and I'm very lucky to have been a part of it and to see it. But I truly wish all of our fans could have been there and been there throughout the year. The RAC, I don't know if you've been, Jason, and I'm pretty sure you have, but the RAC probably it's the best venue all across college basketball, and it's the most electric. I don't care if it's 8,000 fans. I don't care if you're sitting the 300 level. There's no bad seat in the arena. The student section's incredible. Just how loud it gets. I get the chills, and our fans get the chills every time you're there. And a big moment happens. We're going to 10-0 run. Other coach calls timeout. The band plays the fight song. Everyone's going nuts. It's the best venue in the country. And I don't care what anyone else says, but it was a great experience being out in Indy.
Yeah, no, I've been to the RAC last year. Actually, it was one of the last games before the COVID shutdown. So I went to the Rutgers against Maryland game where Rutgers actually killed them. It was a great game. Obviously, me and my brother, who's the general manager here, he's a big Maryland fan, so he was a little upset with the outcome. But we went, you guys hosted us because we were going to start our partnership. So it was this kind of amazing day that we had there, and then the game was awesome. I was blown away by the atmosphere. I highly recommend anybody going and checking it out. It was truly a great experience. Rutgers Athletics does a great job there, and it was a fun game. Again, except for my brother, who he's a Terps alum, so he wanted them to win there.
We need to get him back out there for the next Terps loss at the RAC. So we'll get him out.
I'll tell him that, and we'll definitely be there, 110%. He was so tempted to wear some Terps apparel, but we kept telling him you can't do that. Rutgers is hosting us, and look what happened. Rutgers.
That's right, Jason. So, you did it right.
Yeah. So that was fun, though. That was great.
That's great.
So yeah, we know the successes of basketball. We know that football's on the horizon, and they're going to be hopefully very successful. What other and you had mentioned wrestling. What other sports programs have been really successful that some of those major ones or the major fans might have missed?
I mean, if you just look at what's going on this spring, it'll say tell everything that you need to know. Field hockey right now is ranked number 6 in the country. They just swept the number 4 team in the country, Northwestern.
I saw that.
A doubleheader this past weekend. Our men's lacrosse program is number 7 in the country. They've had quite a few wins this year, big time wins, and I can't wait to see what they do in the Big Ten tournament. Rowing is ranked 11th. I mean, we're right on the banks of the old Raritan, and our rowing team under Coach Price has done incredible things. And every time I go to the rack or our new athletic performance center, I see rowing always practicing. They're always outside, practicing and doing everything they can to get better every single day. And I'll give Coach Price a ton of credit. They work so hard at their craft. Women's soccer is ranked 22nd. And they're in the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament. I think they're playing today.
Nice.
I got to look. So they're playing today, I believe, in the NCAA tournament, in the Big Ten tournament. They're number 22 in the country. And then women's lacrosse is number 24 in the country. And they're doing incredible things. So, I mean, on top of that, our men's golf program, women's golf programs are doing great things. Swimming and diving had a great year. So, you put everything together. And I've been around Rutgers since I was 3 years old, Jason, and I've never been more excited about Rutgers athletics in general, not just basketball, not just football, not just wrestling. I've never been more excited about Rutgers athletics than I am right now. If you want to buy stock, now's the time to buy stock. Softball, baseball, everything is just exploding. So if you want to, take part, if you want to be a bandwagon fan, anyone out there, and you're like, I want to support a college, now's the time to support Rutgers. If you're someone that is thinking about coming to Rutgers as an undergrad, just to come to Rutgers and be a student, I would not recommend any other place other than Rutgers University.
Wow, that's great. I love your energy and passion too. It really comes through. And I mean, listen, as an auto group, my family, family owned and operated here. We grew up on Long Island, so Rutgers was always a little far away from us to really follow sports wise. But,
Sure.
So many of our employees are Rutgers alums or have family members in Rutgers. So, throughout the tournament, throughout the sports, especially after we got involved with our partnership, the amount of texts I was getting during March Madness. And like I said, because, we're a part of the Twitter account when you guys put out the schedule and stuff, we're one of the sponsors. I kind of follow that. I get the alerts. And like I said, I just see all of these victories that you guys are posting about. And it's just like crazy. It does seem like an exciting time right now for Rutgers Athletics for sure.
It's nonstop. I mean, the past few weekends we've had 10, 12, 14 wins, just continually winning. And even, all of our sports are just competing at the highest level, and not just in competition, but in the classroom too. We're breaking records, in academics. And then, when we had students on campus, the amount of hours that they have in community service, in just volunteering and taking part in the larger community, around New Brunswick, Piscataway, it's truly outstanding. And I'm so lucky to be a part of it. And I'm so happy that All-American Auto Group is a part of it too.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We're so happy. And to give everybody a background, I've talked about it on previous podcast episodes, but basically Rutgers University is probably, 20 minutes, 25 minutes from our location here in Old Bridge. And we have, sold fleet vehicles to Rutgers University for years. We're one of their bigger fleet providers. And the opportunity with Rutgers Athletics came up to be a proud partner of them. And, we took it. We were excited. We knew that the sports were really starting to get traction across the gambit, like you said. And we're very excited to be a part of it. So I appreciate that. And I love the passion. And like I said, all of our employees that went there, everybody's excited about it all. So it's a good time right now.
And the leadership that we have, with President Holloway coming in, with our athletic director, Pat Hobbs, Deputy Sarah Baumgartner, my boss, Carly Northup, and Liz Boyd, we have incredible leaders here at Rutgers, and that just trickles down to our staff, to our programs, and then just to the general, student body. And like I said, there's no better time to be a part of Rutgers University and Rutgers Athletics than right now. So I'm truly happy you guys are a part of this. Great
stuff. All right. If you got a couple more seconds, I have to cover a little car questions that I try and cover with all of my guests. So it's kind of rapid fire, but what was your first vehicle?
2005 black Ford Taurus. I bought it used at 60,000 miles, and that puppy took me a long way. Had a long time.
That's awesome. So I've had a lot of guests on here, my employees, Ford employees, even Subaru employees. I think you're the first guest to actually have their first vehicle be a Ford. So that's great.
Let's go. Happy to be the first guest.
That's awesome. And if you don't mind saying, what are you driving now?
I'm driving a 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Okay, so we'll change that over time. I'll get you in here. We'll get you into the Ford. That's easy. Last question. What was the longest or craziest road trip you've ever taken?
I've driven to Montreal.
Wow, okay.
That was a fun one. Driving to Canada is always fun. I've driven up to Maine in my Ford Taurus. So when I had my stepdad, Kevin, was the athletic director at Bates College up in Maine. So my mom and Kevin lived up in Maine. And I drove that Ford Taurus, 2005 Ford Taurus, from New Jersey to Maine, I think 16 times I counted.
Wow.
So, and that's 7 hours one way. So both ways, it's like 14 hours. So that Ford, I got to tell you, it held up a long, despite those 16 times driving up and back from Maine to Maine. So I love that trip. It was great.
That's crazy. That's crazy. The Ford Taurus, I mean, yeah, it was a beast, always high in the rankings with sales throughout the country. So
no doubt.
That's very cool. All right. Well, Mike, I really appreciate it. Look forward to having you on again. Let's get football going. Let's get into the fall and some of these next set of sports, and we'll have you back on.
Thank you again, and thank you for supporting Rutgers Athletics. Appreciate the All-American Auto Group. Really do.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
You got it.
Well, everyone can afford it.